Who said they whooping my ass?
You about to beat him? Yes, sir. Welcome back to Redacts Show. I'm your host, Wafik or Feek, and I'm with my other host, my co-host.
The co-host Day to Day in the building. Episode 93. 93 till infinity. Y'all didn't see that, but if y'all did, welcome to the Redacts Show. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure you guys like, share, rate us a 5-star on all social media platforms. Again, like I said earlier, this is episode 93, road to 100, everything. Road to 100 episodes, 100 subscribers, 100 likes, views, everything. So help us reach that goal. We see the engagement. We just want to see those subscriptions go up. You know, it is free to subscribe. Not like everything nowadays where you got YouTube Premium and Disney Plus, Hulu Plus, Max, Apple TV. I still don't even know what that is.
Hey man, Apple TV is Apple TV.
But again, TikTok is back. I definitely was on here talking out my ass on the last episode, but you know, I guess I was half wrong. Well, because that night they did shut it down.
They snatched it up fast. As soon as they took it away when I was at the movie theaters, boy.
I was literally at the movie theater too when they happened. I went on there because before I was scrolling, I'm like, man, this shit about to stay here. I'm just saying, like, there's no way. Again, like on my heater I was on last time, I was like, there's no way this is going. Leave that theater. That was when I seen the Wolfman. Also, side note, why now? So I'm over here in Oregon. Now I gotta worry about a fucking wolfman, a werewolf in this bitch.
Yeah. Bro, in that movie, when it first started off, they said they Oregon. I said, oh shit. I said, Data. That's why they got that curfew, man. That's why they got that curfew. That's
exactly why they have a curfew. That is exactly, it's all making sense now. I understand it now. But I damn near forgot what I was talking about. But I leave the theater and I go back to TikTok. Why is that fucking pop-up show up like, oh, it's the U.S. government is currently banned? I was like, my jaw could have dropped to the floor. I was like, I know y'all fucking lying. I was literally just appalled. I was shocked. We've been bamboozled. And I just was like, I had to finish wiping the egg off my face because I had a bunch of it on there. And it was crazy how fast it came back to it. They literally were just a timeout. And they're just like, oh, such and such, he who shall not be named, brought the thing back. I was like,
oh, what are we doing, bro?
What are we talking about?
I said, get this out of here, man.
I was like, at what cost? And this man who will not be named was the person that wanted the shit banned in the first place. Who do you think you're fooling? But this is not a political pod. This is an anime pod. This is a cartoon pod. This is a geek pod. And we're going to keep it that way. So, again, make sure you guys engage in the reels, engage in the TikToks. So now we got them back. And just, you know, keep showing us that engagement. We'll keep giving y'all content. But first topic of the day. So there's some news from discussing films that came out that we just love this word. Reportedly, the budget for the new Captain America Brave New World is reportedly $180 million, which and a film is currently tracking to open with $95 million domestically. Now, on its face, those are some good numbers. That's a good budget. That's a decent budget, and you know you're tracking to make almost $100 million opening weekend. That's not bad. You know, it's obviously you're not making money at that point, but that's decent. It's just that this kind of created an uproar on social media because prior to this news, it was reported that Marvel was on track to be Marvel's most expensive movie because of all the reshoots, all the other things added on, different plot changes, writing changes, all that. Mm-hmm. It was, I think, at one point there was a number thrown out like upwards of $300 million. So now everyone's responding like, oh, like, so this $300 million was a hoax, whatever, like all this other stuff. Now, I almost jumped on that bandwagon in the sense of like, damn, they just making up numbers now. Like back then, y'all said this shit was 300. Are y'all trying to set this movie up to fail? But this could be Marvel lying in the sense because big companies do it all the time. They may say, "Oh, this movie actually cost this," but later on down the line, when they actually got to show them tax receipts and pay them taxes, it shows actually no, this movie cost way more than this. So my question to you, Feek, is: do you think this number is real, or do you think this movie did cost more?
I don't think it cost $300 million. Me personally, I don't think it cost them that much. I just, even with the reshoots and everything, I just don't see them spending that much money unless it's like an Avengers movie.
I think even I don't mean to cut you off, but I think the reshoots were just for like a certain fight scene. Now, unless that fight scene is Red Hulk busting and we got Bruce Banner coming out of nowhere, hulking out, unless it's that kind of fight scene, just tearing shit up, I can understand that. But I'm with you. I'm like, if it's just for one scene, like I read somewhere, I don't know how that just balloons to $375 million budget.
Yeah, because they reported it right now. It's like you said 180 or 190, right?
180.
Okay. Yeah, I can see them maybe when it's all said and done, they come out and say, oh, it was 220. I don't think 300 is crazy to me. 300 is insane. I don't see it being 300. Now, we could totally be wrong. I don't see it being 300. And then a lot of the stuff they did, even from the trailers, a lot of stuff that people thought was CGI was actually practical effects. Like the cherry blossoms, those were real trees. Granted, they added on more with CGI, but the majority of them was real trees because in the behind the scenes stuff, they actually showed the damn trees. I said, oh.
Yeah. I mean, it's been done before, but in my mind, just is like, why would you CGI trees when you can just go somewhere that has them? Yeah. Like, why would you just, I don't know. That's just me, but hey, that's where that budget comes from. So yeah, I don't know what to believe. I guess we'll wait and see. If this is fake, this is all the more reason to go see this movie and put butts in seats, because let's say it is 300 million. It's gonna need at least, if you want to do the movie math, it's going to need at least 500 to make 500 million in its theatrical release for it to be just break even.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying this movie needs to make $1 billion. I don't think this movie needs to make $1 billion. I don't think it will make that much money. But if we want this to be a success and for Marvel to get in their minds like, okay, we can promote a Black Captain America, because that's my biggest thing. This is important, and the significance it has in the culture of America. We need more roles like this to be seen by a younger audience, so they can say like, oh, I'm seeing myself on screen with the red, white, and blue. It was one thing with Black Panther. It's another thing when we got representation about this country for us. Mm-hmm. So like, we need people like us and other people to just be in seats. Don't give Marvel a reason to bring back Steve Rogers.
Please.
Because if that movie doesn't, because we know money talks. And these big companies listen. So if they see that thing balloon up, let's say 800, 700 million, I think that's a successful movie, personally. But it just depends on what their expectations are.
Because we could really say like that 300 mil possibly could be if you add on their marketing and stuff too. Now that's how I could say, okay, it's 300 million. Because you're doing like marketing campaigns and everything like that. But just saying like the shooting itself was 300 million. I don't know about that one, buddy.
I'm looking up the earnings for all the Captain America movie. So the first Captain America, the first Avenger, earned $370 million at the box office. This included $170 million domestically, $193 million internationally, and a budget of $140 million. Now the budget that can be made up, but let's just say it's roughly $380 million. That's what the first Captain America made. And then Winter Soldier, I'm looking that up right now. Winter Soldier earnings, that was $714 million.
Ooh, it deserved it.
That earned $714 million with a movie budget of $180 million. Yeah, $170 million. So again, all this is in the rough ballpark of a Captain America movie. Now, all those other movies outside of Civil War didn't have a Hulk. The reason why I'm saying Civil War is because they had to, CGI a flying Spider-Man and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So let me look that one up right now. But
and even in Civil War, it was more so like an Avengers movie.
Exactly. So that one earned $1 billion. That was $1.15 billion at the box office. Film's domestic earnings were $480 million. International earnings were $746 million.
Ooh.
But again, this was kind of towards like, this essentially was a closeted Avengers movie. You had everybody in there.
Mm-hmm.
You had Spider-Man in there.
Spider-Man was like peak Marvel time.
You said what?
And this was like peak Marvel time because, like you said, they threw in Spider-Man that trailer. Everybody went insane. Everybody said, "We're seeing this movie."
So you had the Marvel hype was at an all-time high. Spider-Man is a cash cow. We talked about this, and this is an Avengers movie. So outside of Civil War, the first two Captain America movies made still less than $1 billion, but people consider those good movies with a reasonable budget of around 150 to 180. Now, I'd had to do a little bit more research as to like reshoots they may have had, different scenes that they made a part of in the original story and stuff like that, which kind of followed this Brave New World movie. And, Falcon wasn't Captain America yet. Yeah. So there's a lot riding on this movie. I also think personally, and I said this before on the pod, this movie is really going to tell the audience if the MCU is back, not Deadpool Wolverine, because that technically is not Marvel, like MCU. Mm-hmm. It didn't have any MCU characters. Go back and check. Nobody outside of because I'm trying to think outside of Happy Hogan.
TVA. I was gonna say outside of old girl from TVA.
And then her. Two people out of the entire cast were MCU characters. No one else in that movie. So this is really what's going to, I believe, set up the MCU and tell the audience if they're back or not. Not Marvel. Not Deadpool Wolverine. So I don't know. I think this could either be Marvel lying, and I would not be surprised if it came out and they're like, actually, this movie cost us $300 million, and we didn't make money on it, so we're gonna give the Captain America to Bucky. No, I'm playing.
It couldn't have cost them $300 million, man. I just don't see.
I don't
just
see that
can't
either.
see that.
Because why? Like the only reason I could see that happening is
if
they have a shit ton of Red Hulk.
Yeah, and I think it will be, but at the same time, 300. I just don't see it just for Red Hulk. Now, if you said like, oh yeah, it costs us $250, okay, I'll be like, all right, that makes somewhat more sense. 300.
Yeah. Now again, I don't think this will make more than Civil War. For the reason we just talked about.
Oh, billion?
But
nah.
I think if it makes more than the first Captain America and close to Winter Soldier, because it gives that Winter Soldier type vibe. Yeah. And we've been missing that for a long time.
Yeah.
Since Winter Soldier, really?
Yeah. This is literally, when I tell y'all this the trailers they showed is, to me, is 1-to-1 damn near of Winter Soldiers. That's why I'm like, bro, this is going to be one of the best movies. I'm hoping. Praying one of the best movies they released in a minute. So I think the range for it is going to be between 500 and 700 once it's all said and done. Now, if it gets to 8, oh yeah, Marvel start on the next one.
Yep, and because I'm looking at what the MCU has for the year 2025 is not many.
It's just Fantastic Four left, and then I think they have one other show to release.
The Thunderbolts. Does the Fantastic Four come out this year?
Mm-hmm. Same month as Superman. I think it's the same week. I think they come out the same week. They're either back-to-back weeks or the same week.
You're exactly right. July 25th, 2025. That comes out this year. I can see that making $1 billion just off the strength of Fantastic Four. And then the Thunderbolts, May 2nd, 2025. That is the only MCU movies that they have for the year 2025.
And I'll say this, one thing I'm liking about the movies so far is like a lot of the cast members have been talking. Like for Fantastic Four, I don't think I mentioned it. Maybe I did, maybe a few episodes ago. But how they brought on, what is his name? The one who does Gollum and Caesar.
Oh,
the actor who does that.
Yes. For I'm gonna look his name up, but he's voicing Galactus or playing Galactus.
No.
Who are you talking about? Oh, Andy Serkis. You talking about Andy Serkis?
Yeah, Andy Serkis. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't remember. They brought him in to help with the I'm forgetting everybody's name, with the cousin from Bear who's playing the Thing. Since he does a lot of the 3D suits, they brought him in and he was like coaching him up on how to do stuff.
Obama Moss.
Right. Yeah, they brought him in. And then in the Thunderbolts, they were talking about how a lot of those effects are practical. And then Sebastian Stan, he was saying like a lot of he's like, it felt like old Marvel to him.
Yeah.
So that's what's making me exciting about these movies.
These Marvel movies. And I think, on a sad note, almost like Captain America Brave New World is going to be a very good movie. But I would not be surprised if we see Thunderbolts and just be like, Sam Wilson, you got to step aside. And then the Fantastic Four comes in and it's just like, hold my drink. So it's just like rolling hits after hits after hits. That's what the MCU is missing, and that's what they need desperately.
Yeah. Because honestly, I feel like once Captain America pops off, that Thunderbolts is going to just feed into the Thunderbolts more. Mm-hmm. People are going to be like, oh shit, the MCU is back, ? And I have a good feeling about that Thunderbolts movie, man. I have a good feeling about it. Especially because they got that boy Bob in there. They got my boy Bob.
Bob in the building. Yep. And then in turn, that's just from a box office perspective. terms of the shows they have, they got Spider-Man, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, that comes out at the time of this recording this Wednesday, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But they got Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, they got Ironheart.
Oh, they got Ironheart?
Wonder. I was about to say Wonder Woman.
Wonder
Man with Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
That's gonna be good.
And Marvel Zombies, and they also have Eyes of Wakanda. Did I say Daredevil?
Animated. No.
Daredevil. That alone.
That
might carry the entire Marvel television department for the next 5 years.
Can we talk about that trailer?
Go ahead.
Hey, man. So I'll say this, I'll preface this. I'm still watching the first Daredevil for Netflix. I'm watching it right now. But that trailer, oh my God.
Bro, did you see old boy jump on his leg like that?
Bro, when he drop kicked that nigga's leg, I screamed.
Like, ooh.
Bro, and then that person arm that he cracked.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was him or I don't remember if it was him or I forgot the villain's name. What is his name? He still senses though. I forgot his name, but I don't remember if it was
White
him.
Tiger or something.
Not White Tiger. It's like I want to say it starts with an H. He got like the blood eyes down there on his mask.
Oh yes, I think he's like, I don't know, but the main villain, or he's the main anti-heavy that Daredevil and ultimately Kingpin are going to have to try to work together to stop. That's kind of my prediction.
Cause that is his name Mute? Give me 1 second while I look this up. Muse. So the villain's name is Muse, and I know in the comics, I was just trying to remember. In the comics, he still senses, like he can still sensory senses, so he can practically become invisible to Daredevil. Now I don't remember if the comic. I don't think he's a mutant in the comics, but let me see. Muse abilities.
Yeah, I didn't know he's like a fairly new character. But he is a vigilante like Daredevil. He's just a bit more extreme.
Yeah. So Batman, he's an Inhuman.
He's an Inhuman?
Well, that's what it says on this quick thing I'm looking at.
The Marvel ain't doing Inhumans no more.
Yeah.
Once they did what they did with Miss Marvel, you got any sort of inhumanity or abnormality, you're a mutant.
Yeah, so I think they might have him be a mutant, or if not even a mutant, I guess just somebody with tech, I'm guessing, because he steals ability. He steals he like steals sensory data, I think. But yeah, that shit gonna be good, man. That's one of them ones.
Yeah,
I'll say.
Or they might not even do the whole mutant thing. They might just mute that from his character. Just be like, I'm just a more extreme Daredevil, and Daredevil's like, I gotta come out of retirement for this one. You going too far, man. You gotta stop.
Bro, instead of being blind, he just can't hear. He's deaf. He Hawkeye.
I'm about to say Hawkeye just went rogue. Instead of Ronin, he's the Muse now. No, but I think 2025 could be the year of the MCU. And they better do it now, because the DCU and James Gunn,
that Superman,
they're about to take Marvel's lunch.
Superman on the way.
Superman is
flying
on the way
right now.
And I guarantee you that movie will make $1 billion, if not more.
I think that movie is for sure going to be DC's highest grossing film of all time.
Ever.
I'll call that right now. That would be their highest grossing film ever.
Yeah. There's this note because it's not rated R. Everyone can see it. Everyone and they mama knows Superman. And it got multiple. It's a lived-in universe with multiple heroes in it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't ask for a better movie.
And you know what else is gonna help it too? All them Snyder fanatics, they gonna watch it too. The hate watch.
Yes, they're definitely gonna.
About 50% of that money, that revenue is gonna be from people hate watching because they love Zack Snyder so much. They definitely gonna. This is gonna be the highest grossing film they have for a minute, maybe until they do a Justice League.
Yep. And they're gonna be like, "What? A non-Batman movie with no Batman in it makes $1 billion?"
They're gonna be like, what's all these colors?
No bat signal. But yeah, I'm trying to think what other DCU projects are coming out in 2025.
Is Peacemaker this year or is that next year?
I'm looking that up. I think Peacemaker might be next year. Or at the very earliest, probably late 2025.
Cause I know they got Peacemaker. Supergirl is next year. Green Lantern shows is next year. I think most of their stuff is heavy next year.
Yeah.
I think this year it was mainly just Creature Commandos and this Superman movie.
Yeah, release date June 2026. I think that Lantern show is supposed to come out next year too, with Aaron Pierre. Trying to find a release date for that. Yeah. But all in all, superhero media is back. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be eating good for the next multiple years. Moving on. So, as we talked about earlier about Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, so that show is coming out in the next few days. I'm sure by the time this episode is out, it might be first few episodes might come out already. We'll see. But so they released their episode schedule and they released a bunch of stuff, but they are a bunch, but just they released 2 things. We're going to talk about both of them. One is kind of good. The other, I don't know. But I'm going to share my screen so the audience can see it. But so this is their episode release schedule. And so first they had the first 2 episodes coming out at the same time on a Wednesday. Then February 5th, they have 3 episodes coming out, which is that following week. On the 12th, they have another 3. And the 19th, they have the final 2. So this is definitely different, at least for me. I've never seen episodes kind of released like this. It's either like an all-in-one thing, or it's weekly, or you could pull an Invincible, have 4 the first half, and then never release the second half until 6 months later. But, Feek, how do you feel about this episode schedule? Do you think this, I guess, do you like, love, or redact this schedule?
I'm kind of indifferent toward it. I'll say like, just because, I mean, I guess you don't have to wait extra long to see every episode. Like, so instead of it being 10 weeks of watching, you just have to wait 4 weeks and then you're done. Depending on how you watch. But yeah, I'll just say like.
Yeah, I would say like too. If anything, I'm more interested once I start watching it to see how like the pacing of it feels. because you got a 2-3-3-2 sandwich right here.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still coming out weekly, so it's not like they're doing the first 2, then taking a week off, and then the next 3 and taking 2 weeks. And it's none of that. It's still consistent, but each week is multiple releases. I wonder if they're trying to formulate this in a way of like an
arc or chapter,
chapter releases or something. But I'm interested to see how this works, and if this has any effect with ratings or something like that. I think this might be Marvel experimenting in a way, because it's like they know Spider-Man has a strong fan base. They know people are going to watch this. I think if anything, this is the time to do that in a controlled setting, like a Spider-Man animated TV show, where let's say they might not like this. They still have their Spectacular Spider-Mans. They still have their Spider-Man the Animated Series. They still have Across the Spider-Verse they can go back to. It's not the end of the world. And this is not canon to none. And I'm also interested to see how each episode is paced during these like week releases. Because, it might be, episode 1 comes out with a soft to be continued. And then episode 2 comes out with like a hard end.
Stop.
Or like a hard to be continued, like in the animated series. But I'm interested to see that. Now, they also released a first clip of, I'm assuming probably going to be the first episode of the animated, the new Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show. And it got a lot of attention to it. I'm not going to play it just for copyright reasons, but there's just very interesting animation. It's from the trailer. It's just a very different animation style.
You can scroll through it, just not play the sound. You don't got to play like the whole thing. You can like scroll through that whole.
Yeah, I'm about to share my screen, but but yeah, there's like people not moving in the background. They're just looking. The sky is just blocky. Very interesting.
Pause right there.
Ball right there. I hate that pause right there. But
I'll ask you, how do you feel about the animation?
I'm kind of still feel the same. Like, I think I'm okay with the change. This is kind of, it's different. And I think there's a purpose behind this animation, because they're trying to create like a live, I hate using the word live action with like how everything is quote unquote live action, even though it's still CG to the max, but like a moving comic book panel. So you look at this, I feel like a moving comic book, Steve Ditka, Stan Lee comic book, where the people are actually moving. You have maybe moving text boxes and stuff like that. So I think that's why there's, non-moving parts. People might look just frozen in place, because in a comic book, they're not moving at all. They're just picture frames. So I'm maybe in the minority that likes what they're doing and understands it. And I'm going into this show with that in my mind.
Okay. Like, for me, it's, I don't know. Like, on one half to me, this shit ugly. On the other half, though, I see why they did it this way. But also, the one thing I do want to say is the first trailer they showed looked way better than this. So in my mind, it's just this scene that's kind of like this. And I feel like, and I could be giving them more credit than they need, but who knows? I feel like this scene is just, you're mainly supposed to only focus on them. That's why nothing else is moving.
Yeah. Which
isn't something new in any type of media, entertainment wise. But I guess just seeing it how it is right now, this first scene is kind of meh, but the scenes from the trailer were good because everything was flowing. So I think this might be a one-off style scene more so than like the whole show is everybody frozen in the background and we just got Peter and whoever he's engaging with talking or moving. So that's how I kind of feel about it at the moment.
Yeah, I think, I'm interested. This actually has me even more intrigued to see the show because I want to see how consistent this animation is.
Mm-hmm.
If it's really like this through the whole show, I'm like, oh, okay, this is what we doing. Got you. But, yeah, if anything, this has me more interested to see how this show flows, especially from an animation perspective. Because, yeah, people's coming out the woodworks to shit on this. I don't know if you saw like the engagement. They got like 30 million views.
Bro, it was what
20 or 30% of that is just people hate watching it.
It was one tweet. This dude said, I looked at Invincible and smiled.
I seen that.
What? I had tears in my eyes. Bro.
Oh,
if
man.
y'all don't know, bro, one thing about Invincible that people get on it all the time is that its animation takes such a dip at times, and that the spinoff they did with Adam Eve, the spinoff they did with her was like 1,000,000 times better. And to me, yes, it was 1,000,000 times better. That was some of the best animation they've ever done. But then you get to Invincible, it's like, oh damn, here we are again, Mark. So, I think that was funny. It was a few more I've seen too, but
yeah, it almost put me in the mind of, do you remember like that show Spider-Man, the new animated series? It only had like one season, but Spider-Man. It came out in 2003. I think it was like in between the original animated series and like Spider-Man Unlimited.
Let me see.
I'm about to share my screen to show you in the audience. But I think it was supposed to, because it came out in 2003, and it was supposed to be like, I think it was meant to be canon to Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because it was like this. Why he pose like that?
That boy, the bad bitch pose.
He in a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure pose. He in that polar pose.
Who's the stand user as the nigga breaks his back posing? Oh man.
But yeah, like it was this 3D animation style.
Yeah. I never watched that one. I seen pictures, but I never watched that one.
I see like a few episodes of it. I don't know if I've watched the whole. Again, it was only one season. It didn't last long. I do remember watching that, but I just don't remember anything else after the like certain episodes. I'm about to find that. But yeah, that's what it kind of put me in the mind of. Take with that what you may, audience, but we'll see. I think I'm really interested. We got a black Norman Osborn. We got a not live action. We got a real accurate Norman Osborn
with the waves.
The waves are back. So I'm interested to see that. With that being said, those are real main topics. We're about to get into our Like It Low Redacted soon. So the first one is James Gunn, during an interview, came out and when asked if the Suicide Squad is canon to the DCU, he said, quote, "Only Creature Commandos forward is pure canon." He said the Suicide Squad has a lot of consistencies, but I think of it as an imperfect memory. Do you like, love, or redact his answer to this question?
I'm gonna say redact. I don't hate it, but I'm gonna say redact only because to me it's not confusing. But I feel like to that, I'm thinking in the average viewer's perspective, I feel like that's confusing to them. It could be. Granted, it's not. To me, it's not confusing.
Because it was a lot of discourse in the comments and just on social media about this answer.
Yeah. Because I know
people saying like, "Oh, just bump everything that happened in the DCU and Peacemaker season 1."
Yeah, I think it's more so treating those like fever dreams. Like the characters exist, but if they're alive or dead, it's kind of dependent on him at this point. Mm-hmm. Just like Rick Flag's son, he's dead, but technically he didn't die on that mission. Is what I think. One thing he said. So it's like he's dead, but he may not have died on that Suicide Squad mission.
Or maybe he did, but that movie just
didn't show it right.
Is a very slight alternate reality. Again, it's an imperfect dream. Yeah, that could have actually happened. Or that perspective was just from another person's point of view. And that's not really what happened.
It's all from Weasel's point of view.
I don't know how it could have been from his. He wouldn't even have the shit.
Oh, man.
Yeah, everything prior to Creature Commandos is from the perspective of Weasel. Just think about it like that.
So we don't know what
he could. All that could be true. We'll never know because he don't speak English. So just think about it like that. That's a good one. I would say because I think this makes sense. This is kind of what Marvel is doing with the Netflix canon because they're essentially bringing everything in, making that canon, and then with this new Daredevil show, they're essentially doing the same thing. Like I think they're doing a long enough time skip to where all the events in the previous first 3 seasons, happened with some loose, maybe inconsistencies. Like again, a dream. You might not remember everything, or a loose memory. You might not remember everything perfectly. Mm-hmm. So if it's referenced, then it's a direct callback. And if it's not, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it then.
Yeah, but I think it's giving them room to not have timestamps on things.
Yes. And then
if you say everything's canon, then it's like, oh well, Peacemaker shot bloodshot and all this other stuff. It's like, bro, calm down. Calm down.
Imperfect memory. You're not remembering right. You're not remembering right, bro. Like what are you talking about? You better pick with it. Your disease is acting up.
Ma,
you're not remembering right. That's a sick man.
That is a sick.
Next. So this next one is from a known insider, but he's also known to say some false reporting. But
he's a reportedly nigga.
My time to shine. Hello. He says in a tweet that now that Io Itobiri, if I said that last name wrong, I apologize. She said that now she's no longer in Thunderbolts because really she was supposed to be in this Thunderbolts movie. I don't know as what character, but she's not in it. I think due to schedule conflicts with the Bear. So she was like, now that she's not in the Thunderbolts, she's being considered for the role of Storm in the X-Men reboot. Do we like, love, or redacted?
He just wanted engagement. That's all he wanted was engagement. He needed a check for that week on Twitter because she is a phenomenal actor, whatever you want to call it. She's phenomenal. One of the best, but not for Storm. No. I will. January 6th, Marvel. Not my Storm.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I couldn't agree more. Redact this. I saw a quote to this tweet. They're like, this goofy ass woman better not play Storm. And yeah, she's a great actress. You know, she's really good in The Bear and also in like Inside Out 2, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie.
Mm-hmm.
She was even in the episode of Black Mirror, which I think is kind of at least why I saw her first. And just other medium. She's in a new A24 horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's doing it big. Just not Storm. Let's pump the brakes, please. Yeah. This is not the person I want playing Storm. And that's okay. Hell, you could have her in the X-Men playing fucking Jubilee. Which I don't think they're going to do that character no way. They're just going to make it Miss Marvel. Like, have her be that Jubilee character in the X-Men house. But if you want a Jubilee, actually, no. Because Jubilee's identity and character matters to her. Because she's Asian. Again, no. Just no. She could be anyone else. No. This also kind of makes me remember a tweet I saw. It was not similar to this. They weren't reporting it, but someone was like, it was a picture of Rogue and Keke Palmer. So my question to you, Feek, is, do you think Keke Palmer could play Rogue?
She could play her. Nah, people go send me this part and be like, "Oh, that's how you feel." Nah, I think Keke Palmer would be really good as Rogue. I think the main thing if she played Rogue, the main thing she would have to do is like, she'd have to buff up a little bit. I mean, in my mind, what Rogue is, she would, in my version of Rogue, she would have to be buff up a little bit. But I think she would definitely kill the role because she already can do that. She can do the twang talking if you needed to. But I don't know. I think she'd be like a good third round pick, second or third round pick. I don't know if she's a first round pick for Rogue.
I see where you're coming from. I would say to be she's first round because I think this character is such a hard person to cast just off of how memorable and iconic the X-Men animated series was.
That's what like to me. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like to me, certain characters in the X-Men you can kind of with, like Beast. We care about Beast, but we don't. We care, but we don't care who we cast as Beast, bro. Yeah. The main ones to me is like Cyclops, Wolverine, Storm, Rogue, and Jean. Those five have to be out the park. Professor X, at this point, is kind of just we know the two niggas they're more than likely gonna bring back, so we don't have to worry about that. And then the last one I would say is Magneto. Those six, for mutants wise, those six have to be like the most dominating actresses that you find. They have to be like Oscar grant, all that award nominee, everything. So she could definitely do it. I would say, okay, I'll change it. She's a late first round, mid to late first round.
What about, you know who the perfect, this is going back to Storm. You know who the perfect Storm could be?
Who?
Angela Bassett.
Oh,
she would be the perfect Storm, especially in her prime.
Yeah.
But, Halle Berry did her thing.
What one thing I do want them to do kind of with Storm is really a lot of these X-Men when they do it is not have them as old. I want them to be more so when they're prime-ish years. It's Wolverine's like always old, but so he doesn't count. But I mean like Cyclops and all that, because a lot of I guess in X-Men Evolution they made Storm like a teacher / mother figure. She was in the show, but she was kind of just like there. I want them to do it like how most of the comics had them, where they're all kind of similar age, nobody's like upper older except for maybe like Beast and Charles, but they're all the rest of them are kind of like 20, 30s, and they're all kind of like similar, more so like I won't say siblings, but friends. Mm-hmm. Like that's their dynamic. So I would want them to have that dynamic more so than like, oh, these three are teachers and the rest are students. Because I mean, like that, I feel like with that, it takes away a lot of the characters' dynamics that you could have and play on.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't necessarily know if I want them too young. Like,
yeah, not like
I want them like my age. I think
the best not like age 20, to have not like early 20s,
30s till 40, like that 30 to 40 range. I want them established.
I don't want them that old.
30 to 40, Scott, like 40 max.
I don't want to see Scott 40, bro. That nigga's at death door then.
Well, because my thing is, I just want the X-Men already established.
But you got to think, they was established when they was like 16. 15,
yeah, I just 17. Don't want the original X-Men with. I want my X-Men to start how the animated series started. Like these X-Men are here. You got your current team. Yes, the originals were there, but then they're like the elder statesmen, like your Scott, Jean Grey, Storm. Well, Storm May came a little bit later. Iceman, who may not be there, like in the animated series. And then you have your younger, new generation cast, like a Jubilee, a Miss Marvel, if they add her in that movie. I don't want a young Rogue necessarily. Someone that's a bit older. I want an
X-Men. The way I would want it is X-Men Evolution. Just because that's the one. Like I watched the 91, but X-Men Evolution was my bread and butter. So that's how I would want them. And the only thing difference I would do with that one is make Storm a little younger instead of old. But everything else, all them being like high school to college, I would have them there. Just because to me in that show, their dynamic was so great. And it was so many of them in that hole. Once you got to like the final season, it was like, damn, these niggas really are like a squad.
Yeah. We'll see. All we know is Marvel don't fuck this up. This is why y'all don't pay us to make these decisions. Don't mess this up. But yeah, to the Rogue thing, to the Rogue casting, I don't even know who I would want. Because what I was going to say was, what if they did like a dual role casting? Like someone is playing her physically, but her voice is not that actress's voice.
Mm-mm.
That'd be ugly. Like it's Keke Palmer's voice, but it's actually
Ronda Rousey's
body.
Head ass. No, it need to be all one person.
Yeah,
Kiki could do it for sure. I think she'd be phenomenal at it.
Yeah. Who they gonna bring back Channing Tatum Gambit
for X-Men? Nah, they not. I think he'll stay a variant, and they might bring him in for like another movie later on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I'm glad I ain't got to make that decision. Next, so we got some recent casting news. Ulrich Thompson has been cast as Sinestro in the James Gunn Lanterns series. He's I don't really know who this guy is personally. I think some of his stuff he's been in was The Celebration, The Marco Effect, Banshee. Actually, I feel like I've seen him before. Face to Face, Violent. I don't know who that is. But do we like, love, or redact this casting of Sinestro?
I'll say like. I will say though, and I've said it before, these niggas are old. Granted,
He
Sinestro
is
can be
old.
old.
He's like
Granted,
61.
yeah. Granted, to me, Sinestro can be old. I've always viewed him as old, but it's an old cast, man.
Yeah.
So,
Because Sinestro, he had the title of greatest Green Lantern before Hal Jordan did.
yeah, exactly. So he was already seasoned and in the role, and Hal Jordan came along after as younger. So that's the only thing I'm with right now is like, damn, like all of them are 60.
Yeah, except Aaron Pierre.
Yeah, except for Aaron Pierre. I think all of them are 60 or just about 60.
Aaron Pierre is 30
probably
years old. 30-year-old man.
It's going to be interesting.
Played John Stewart.
Who?
Jonathan Major. No, I'm playing.
Honestly?
No.
He
Hell no.
He definitely could.
No. Absolutely not. No. But yeah, I just don't know how I feel about this news. I mean, I'll say because he can't mess it up.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, are we gonna get well, there's no way, because I was gonna say, are we gonna get flashback. A old like Green Lantern Sinestro? But I'm like, there's no way, because that would kind of inquire this Hal Jordan we have is still learning the role of being a Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. And I just like Sinestro still being a Green Lantern with an older Hal Jordan and a newer John Stewart. No. So that shows me the Sinestro core is here. It's been established. And it just makes sense in James Gunn's DCU with seeming like a lived-in, established universe.
Yeah.
But
I do have one Like It Love Redacted. Somebody sent this on Instagram. It was Book. He said, "How do we feel about Shrek 6?" I didn't even know they was making a Shrek 6.
I didn't even know they were making a Shrek 5.
I was about to say, was there 5 Shreks? Because I remember 1, 2, obviously. I remember the one with Rumpelstiltskins.
Wasn't that 4 or was that 3? That was... I don't even know. Yeah, there was Shrek 2 and then Shrek Happily Ever After. Yes. There was Shrek 2, then Shrek the Third, then Shrek Forever After. That was the 4th one with Rumpelstiltskin. I remember that one. Okay. And then they had like the Secret Ogre Society.
Boy, what the hell is that?
That was in the 4th one. It was like underground, and they met all them Shreks. They met all them ogres.
That was the one with Rumpelstiltskin?
That was with the Rumpelstiltskin one.
Bro, I don't remember that movie at all. Goodness gracious.
And then, yeah, I don't know. Redact. They're starting to turn into.
It's Shrek 5, not Shrek 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to say,
still,
where did the 5th one come out?
that comes out next year. That's what I think. That's what he meant. Shrek 5.
Okay. Still redacted. I mean,
yeah.
The story ended as far as I'm concerned.
I don't.
The DreamWorks low key. DreamWorks has been in a bag.
Hey, no. DreamWorks always have bangers, man.
They do. So I'm like, I'm saying redact this, but I'm like, what's stopping them from making just a banger of a Shrek 5? Because they made a good one with Puss in Boots.
Boy, and then Puss in Boots, The Last Wish.
Yeah.
That was one of the best movies I've ever seen.
And then The Wild Robot, I still haven't seen that, but
that's on
Peacock.
Is it on Peacock? Yeah, I'll probably watch that whole today.
But people swear by that movie. So that wasn't that nominated for some Golden Globes?
Yeah, I think it won. No, it didn't win. What beat it? I think The Lion King. Granted, I want to say this real quick. I think we said it last time. Why the hell was The Lion King nominated for like 6 things? and then for voice acting, it had like 4 nominations. Everybody named Mama was like, "What the?" That's all I have to say. You know my stance on this. Yeah, should have went to the Wild Robot or Transformers one. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, on one hand, I'm like, really, Shrek? But then Wild Robot, DreamWorks has been making some crazy things, and they're coming out with a live action How to Train Your Dragon.
They are.
I wonder, these probably don't have anything to do with each other, but what if this is DreamWorks' way to like gather up the Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon fans and just like, we know y'all in a drought for some dragon shit. Here's some live action dragons for you until y'all get what y'all deserve. I don't know. That could be me just making stuff up out the ether, but what do you think about that, Fee?
It could definitely work.
And then the final one, oh no, that was our last like a little redacted. So moving on, we're gonna move into the infamous bag. Wafik, drop the music.
Yeah, bitch, I'm in my bag, bag, bitch, I just made a bag, bag, bitch, I just made a bag, bag of big bag.
So this Getting Our Bag question was brought to us by a friend of the show. This is a would you rather. So the would you rather is, would you rather fight the Powerpuff Girls every day for a year or fight Batman once a year for 10 years?
Ooh. I think the easy answer is fighting Batman once a year for 10 years.
What?
You got to think, man. Every day for a year, 365 or 66 days, you are getting jumped by the Powerpuff Girls. Come on, man. I don't think it's close. You in Oregon, you going to work, man. And every day you leave work, every day, at 5 o'clock, they about to come beat the brakes off your ass.
Who said they whooping my ass?
You about to beat them?
I got a better chance with them than fucking Batman.
Hell no.
No. Yeah,
you gonna see Bubbles get angry.
Girls.
You gonna see Bubbles get angry, and she gonna dog walk your ass.
They ain't about to have me looking like Mojo Jojo.
Nah, man. You know what's crazy? I think I want to bring this up. I think something that would be even scarier is what if Batman trained the Powerpuff Girls? Could you imagine what them little demons would be doing? Oh my God.
That's dangerous. That's deadly. That's crazy work.
If you thought Robin was insane,
I'm about to say,
you thought he was
back up. You not beating Buttercup with a year under Batman's boot camp regimen.
Bro, they would maim you. especially if it's Arkham, the Arkham games Batman.
Oh my goodness.
They are beating the brakes. They're not beating the brakes. They're beating the atoms off of you. You're turning into paste on the sidewalk. You're gonna be in Walmart. They gonna beat you up just cause you jaywalk. Nah, bro.
Just give me that year, cause I think I have a better chance of I have a better chance of going home with my body intact for a year every day than 10 years. 10 years is a long time.
But just one day out the year, bro.
Mm-hmm. I dread that day every day. 10 years? That's long. You gotta do that 10 years?
Hey, could you imagine?
You gotta be circled.
Could you imagine you hit the last day of the year and he still hasn't jumped you? He still hasn't jumped you. Batman still hasn't showed up and it's the last day of the year. It's New Year's, you're like, fuck. I start crying, nigga. I'd be so depressed that day.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Because that year, me personally, because I think it was like that year is going to go by so fast. 10 years? You had I know it's one day out the year, but 10 years is a long time. No.
Bro.
Give me the Powerpuff Girls.
Hey, man. We got to agree to disagree. Bro, I'm still thinking about, bro.
Don't let it get to that day and he's not there. Oh, now he gotta make up for that. He gotta catch that.
It's the 28th day of December. You're like, I only got like 2 days left. He's coming one of these days.
5, 4, 3, 2. All you hear is a bang! You see? Now you look up his New Year's Eve. It's dark. You about to see the fireworks go off. See that bat symbol. You start sweating. Before the New Year go off, he just busts through the window and go to work.
Just forgot them. No.
Give me that year at least. I feel like the year will go by quicker than the 10.
But, bro, that's 10 ass whoopings compared to 360.
Nah, man, nah.
Understandable. Oh my goodness.
But those are like 10 brutal ass whoopings each year.
Bro, did you see what they used to do to people, bro? You act like they're not superhuman. They're lab experiments. These are mini Supermen.
But say, look what he does to Solomon Grundy and Clayface and all these other crazy rogue
Look
villains.
what they do to robots. Look what they do to kaijus. They be fighting them. They're boxing Godzilla tomorrow.
Nah, I'll take the Powerpuff Girls. But with that being said, I don't know if you had another get our bag question.
Nah, I don't think I did.
With that, we're gonna go to our final segment, our redacted rules. It's been another great episode, episode 93. And my redacted rule for the evening, for the episode is layer. If you're in a cold state, learn how to layer. Because one thing I just being up here and just living in Kansas City for a year and basically a year and a half, I learned how to layer fast. And the one way you can tell someone had lived in the cold and they don't know, and other people that don't or have it, is the way they dress. Most people that live in the cold, you can tell they'll have, obviously you're not going to see their layers, but they are wearing well-insulated clothing. Other people, they just, like people in Houston, I could tell they never seen cold a day in their life because they wearing big-ass bubble jackets that they had from a ski trip they went 10 years ago and sweatpants. That's not, it's like with other people, they're wearing, thick canvas jackets, they're wearing layers and they jeans or some insulated protective clothing, not just sweatpants and some boots. You got people wearing Adidas pants, big ass puff jackets, and Jordans in the snow.
The air getting all in the pants.
So I would say just learn how to layer if you live in a cold state. As someone who grew up in the South and spent a year and a half in a cold ass state, and another going on a year in this new state where it's cold. Yeah, I've learned how to layer. And that's mine.
For me, my redacted rule is I don't even fucking know. My redacted rule is take the chance. Take the chance at 10 years instead of 365 days.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. But yeah.
Well, with that being said, with another great episode, another great redacted day. Appreciate y'all for rock with us. Make sure you subscribe again. Road to 100 everything. Follow us at The Redacted Show. It's been your boy, Dana Dane.
Your boy, Wafiq.
And we out.
Peace.
Recipes call me, I'ma show 'em how to shoot. On the 4-5, jump in the ass, my crew. Yeah, I'm stepping with a fan, keeping all of the hoes on mute. Pull up park, could be yellow with a brew. 48 vert, quick burst. Crazy 8s in the back, yeah, the trunk on hot like a cue. 40 on me when I'm in the backseat. Blotter, paper pre-cut. Chris make juice, it'll drop like ink. Chain came with a clean plate, came with a sink. The Parator came with a mink. Tricones white like paint. My hoe by the hoe, cause she know it's my king. Hit on my side, cause I drop a song. Think you should hit up the link. The phenotype came from the pink Colombian thing. Yeah, the genetics unique. Silver right on the beat. I'm teaching the hoe like I'm Play-Doh. I got the veggies like by the tomato. You got a basic hoe making Alfredo. I put a bag on a hold my payroll. I get active at night, then I lay low. The salmon was breaded with panko. Drunk in my soup, I believe it was Mako. Got my Soviet clutch in the Draco.